Good evening. I'll call to order the Town of Copper Canyon Board of Adjustment meeting for April 27th, 2026. Time is now 7 p.m. We have a quorum present. This is an open meeting. Board of Adjustment acts as in a quasi-judicial capacity. Our decisions must be based on the evidence in the record, the standard in the town's ordinances, and Texas law, not on our personal preference. The first order of business on the agenda is the consent agenda, consisting of approval of the March 2nd, 2026 Board of Adjustment minutes. Do I have a motion on the minutes from March 2nd?
I'll motion to approve the minutes for March 2nd.
Motion made to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes. At this time, the agenda and information packet for tonight's meeting are received as part of the record. We all have those in front of us. Thank you to the Town Secretary for putting that together for us as usual. We'll now proceed to section 3 of the agenda, the public hearings. We have 2 hearings this evening. We'll conduct them one by one. For each public hearing, we'll follow the same process. I'll read the posted agenda description of the case. The applicant or representative will present their case. Board members may ask questions. Public comment related to the request will be taken, and the applicant may briefly respond if there is any public comment in opposition to the request. Then I will close the public hearing and the board will deliberate. At that point, I will accept a motion and a second to either approve or deny the request, and then call the roll. It'll be a roll call vote, so one by one, your vote will be registered. Texas law requires 75% concurring vote of the seated board to grant a variance. What that means is, for us this evening, 4 out of 5 of us must vote to approve a variance in order for that variance to be approved. If we don't receive 4 out of 5 votes, or if we receive more than 1 vote to deny the variance, then that variance will not be granted. Anyone who testifies this evening on behalf of themselves or to make a public comment must speak from the podium, state your name, address for the record, and there is a truth oath printed on the podium we'd like need you to recite before we take your testimony into the hearing. With that, we will now open the hearing on item 1 at 7:02 p.m. And we'll start with the very first item. The Town of Copper Canyon's Board of Adjustment will conduct a public hearing and take action on the following item. The request of Scott and Patricia Glicksberg, owner of real property located at 667 Chin Chapel Road, described as Burgess 1, Lot 8, Town of Copper Canyon, Denton County, Texas, for a variance from the Town of Copper Canyon zoning ordinance, Chapter 14, Exhibit 14A, Article 2, General District Zoning Regulations, Section 2-103A, all residential zoning districts, number 5B, lot orientation. The ordinance requires that garage doors may not face the main public right-of-way unless the garage door is located within the rear 1/3 of the main structure. The property owners are requesting that the garage door facing the public right-of-way would be located within the rear 2/3 of the main structure. I don't believe the applicant is here this evening, present. We have representation of the applicant? Okay. At this time, we'll please, Representative, yes, please come forward. And to the podium, you'll see the truth oath there. If you could state your name and address and then state the truth oath, please.
All right, my name is Lindsay Glicksberg. I live at 3408 Fairfield Lane over in Highland Village. I, Lindsay Glicksberg, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you very much. So at this time, we'll give you time to explain exactly what you're requesting and why you believe the board can lawfully grant this variance. Please go ahead.
So I'm the daughter of Scott and Patricia Glicksberg, who were requesting the variance. My mother sent the board a descriptive PowerPoint of the request for the variance. At the time when their initial plans were denied due to the front-facing garage, she was unaware of the ordinance, was given misguidelines by those that she was working with. Since then, she has made herself aware of the ordinances and the pride that Copper Canyon has in their community and what they're trying to preserve here with their wildlife and their natural trees. And the plan that she proposes would keep the large oaks and elms on the property as such, and without having just to remove them in order to keep the driveway or the garage forward facing.
Okay, as we understand the point, are you familiar with the entire package that was presented by your?
I have briefly reviewed it. I've given my mother feedback on it, but it's been probably 2 or 3 days since I have looked at the content.
So generally, at this point, the board would begin to individually ask questions about the request for variance, the details of that. If you have that information, it's great to share. If not, we have the entire presentation packet that was submitted, and we'll review that as part of the review of the request. Out of curiosity, I think there was the alternative plans that were shown for the drawing of the property showed a side entrance garage as a possibility. Well, my first question was, do you happen to know the total square footage under beam of this project as it sits?
I do not know the total square footage.
It might have been on there. I don't read that small print anymore, so I didn't get the magnifying glass out. I'll check that. So there was a alternative proposed and comment made about why the side entrance was not chosen, and the reference was made to requirement to remove trees to do that. Do you have any further information about why that choice was not chosen before requesting the variance?
I believe my mother wanted to keep all the existing trees. That was one of the reasons that she really went with Copper Canyon, was the established trees and wildlife that was here already. They're coming from the mountains of North Carolina, so they have a huge desire to keep that environment there, keep the trees, keep the landscape the way it is. And my mother has the background in landscape design, so one of the draws to that property when she walked it was just the established trees and structures there, and she would not want to remove any of that because that adds the shade element they're looking for as well.
Okay, there was in the application, there was a note made regarding the current condition of requiring 44 feet from the rear, 66 feet of total depth, but I wasn't sure what those measurements were in reference to.
That I could not.
Okay. And so what I was looking for was the actual, so typically when we look at, in considering variances, there's an order of magnitude. So are we asking for an exception that would result in 5 feet or 500 feet of difference? Obviously this isn't 500 feet, but we look for that order of magnitude of change. And so by not being in the rear third, how much of a difference is the location from the overall plan? And I'm not sure if you know that or not from what you've looked at.
I do not know that.
Okay, by the way, I'm not trying to,
I mean, yes, my mother said she's also available, so I can ring her if I'm here as her physical body to be your connection to her if there was a need for that. I'm sure she could answer any of those questions.
okay. I'm just checking with our town attorney. Is it acceptable for us to take that, for her to request that information from the property owner and come back to us with the answer to that question? If she doesn't know it, is that something we could do, or is that unacceptable?
Well, I guess you could recess. I did see in this packet you just got tonight,
Yep.
there's, looks like originally submitted option, adherence to code option, then second, looks like second, third, so I think these are the drawings they submitted.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I guess, you know, you could recess this hearing, do the second hearing, and then reopen, you know, and then go back to this hearing if you wanted to do that.
Okay, we can look at this and determine if that's necessary. I'm gonna pause and look at this. At this point, I'm gonna allow any of the other board members to ask any questions you may have.
I apologize, your name again?
Lindsay,
Lindsay. Does this property have an HOA?
I do not believe so, no.
But yeah, it does not, okay.
How far is the setback from the road? Do you know where the proposed house is gonna sit? I'm just curious. I drove past the property today. I was just curious, is it something that's visible, from the road? And
I do not believe it'll be visible. I don't, if you've driven past the property, I know they're trying to set it behind the big oak that is basically smack dab center in the property. And I know from when I've driven past it, it's already kind of hard to see from where the angle of the road drives by. So I don't believe that, you would be able to see much of the garage there if it was, allowed to be forward facing. And with that being said, my mother has plans to do the wildlife meadow in the front and would have a lot of landscaping that would help mask the garage along with some muted colors.
I think there was a fence in front of the property. Do you know, are they keeping that fence?
I do not
Or is
believe so. I think they'll probably take that down.
Any other questions?
I'm just having trouble ascertaining how far it exceeds that 1/3 of the property limit from the drawing.
It's,
Right. Right, yeah, but it doesn't say how far that setback.
yeah, that's the thing, we're missing those dimensions of, in order to determine
far
the
the-
magnitude of the request. And so if that's available, we'll take that information. I think at this point, well, I'm sorry, were there any other questions for this witness?
Not for me.
We're good? Okay. Thank you. You can step down. We're going to take additional input
Okay.
at this stage, and then we'll determine if we need to wait for that. You'll have a chance to come back up if you do get that answer.
So you want to know the setback from the road, like
Well,
how
no,
far?
it's not the setback from the road. So if you look at the slide presentation, there's 3 slides that represent the property request. There's the original submitted option that shows the garage in reference to the house structure, which would not be in the rear 2/3.
Okay,
The request, or sorry, in the rear 1/3. So meaning if you divide this by 3, the garage needs to be in that rear third portion.
correct.
So the request is to be in the rear 2/3 as opposed to the rear 1/3. But we don't know how many feet of a variance that represents. Is that 10 feet, 20 feet, 5 feet?
Gotcha, so what the 1/3 is plus the
Right.
additional, okay.
So if you then take the proposed plans as she would like to build them, then how much of a variance does this represent?
Okay. And
make
that could be
sense?
that 49, or that 4369 that she has written there, but we need clarification.
It's written there, I'm not sure what it's in reference to, and that's
Okay.
okay, it just wasn't clear to me, so, with that question.
All right,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
I think that 4369 is if they redesigned the house, they moved that 4-bedroom up to put it back.
Okay.
2/3.
Yeah.
So that's where I got from those 2 numbers,
Got it.
but that would change the plan.
Yeah, I want to speculate on that, so. At this point, I'll allow any additional information from any other people who want to speak on this particular topic. Is there anyone who's looking to speak on this particular case? Yes? Great. Please come forward from the podium and state your name, address, and take the truth oath, please.
Hi, my name is Mark Woolston. I live at 673 Chin Chapel. I'm their neighbor on the north side. I, Mark Woolston, swear and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you.
I had talked to Patty, it was probably 2 weeks ago. I was working out in the yard, and she was there at the property. I talked to her for a while, and what she told me is that they're planning on there's an oak tree almost dead center of the property, side to side, and it sits probably a third back into the lot. And they're trying to put the house just behind that oak tree. And with the house there, the house will actually end up being so far back in the lot that my wife and I, Sherry, we don't have a problem with the front facing because it's going to be so far back. And I have a solid wood fence along that side. So even the people going down the road, if you're heading south, whoop, you'll never even see it because you'll already be past the fence before you can even see it. And it looked like the garage was going to be on the north side of their property. And here's the one big oak tree. Then there's kind of a scrub brush tree, but it's really big. It's maybe 10 feet off the property line in front of where they were wanting to put the garage. So that tree itself will block a lot of it. And then there's a bunch of scrubs that are growing, and my guess is they'll probably cut all that down. But with that, if they left some of that there, you'd never even see the garage. So as long as the side yard setbacks are maintained, I don't have a problem with it. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comment regarding this particular case? Okay. Does the applicant have any response to that or any additional information to provide?
Yes.
It's okay. All the way to the podium so we can get you on microphone for the broadcast. Thank you.
So, real-time updates. The option illustrations show the garage face at 43 feet, and the entire front to back would be 68, or the 69 feet, so
Okay,
that was her
that's what those measurements
Yeah.
were. So the front of the garage is the
43 feet.
43, the entire structure is 63.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, thank you for that. Just another question, sorry, I don't mean to send you back, but
You're fine.
it's your mother, right?
Yes.
The applicant. So she made several comments regarding her desire on the tree in her presentation, preserving the trees and wanting to build in such a way that was preserving the tree. And you also mentioned that they're coming from North Carolina at this stage, and I think she made in her application, she referenced coming from Chicago and having some certification
Yes.
in gardening. My question is, do you know if she consulted a local arborist on the dimension, the distance she's building from those particular trees that they would in fact be preserved?
I do not know if she consulted anyone, but she's got a year's history of building around trees, established trees and mature trees.
Okay. Okay. That's all the questions I have. Anything else from the board? Okay. All right, seeing no further testimony, I'll now close the public hearing on item number 1. The time is 7:18. The board will now deliberate based only on the evidence in the record, which is everything presented in front of us, as well as the testimony that we've heard. And at this point, we'll move into that open deliberation. So I'll start just with a couple comments. I happen to know this property quite well because it's 3 doors down from me. It's to the south of my own property. I watched that property for years with the previous tenant and his condition moving on, and so I like having an upgrade to the overall property from where we currently are. I think that's very positive. The tree in question in the center of the lot is gigantic. It's the type of tree, in my opinion, we'd like to have and preserve and not damage. So I'm kind of in favor of the construction going behind that tree and trying to preserve it. If they put the house in front of the tree and put it in the backyard and built a side entrance garage, it would probably meet the ordinance yet. It wouldn't be nowhere near as appealing from an aesthetic to Chin Chapel Road and the overall piece. So in this case, for me, I think it's a fairly reasonable request and I'm in favor of the general preservation of these particular trees, which we would call reference trees if we had an ordinance for that. And so I'm kind of leaning toward this seems okay to me, but I want to know exactly what you guys think individually.
Yeah, I think the only comment that I would have, because first off, I'll state I agree with you. But as someone that has lost a lot of trees over the past couple of years, that tree may not be there forever, and if that tree's down, then that's kind of the whole purpose of why we have the ordinances in place. And so I think that's something that we need to be mindful of in our decision, but, especially couple diseases and some droughts and stuff like that, that we've had a lot of trees go down. So I would just say something to be mindful of, in the decision making.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would recommend that the homeowner actually consult a local arborist, because, I mean, I think we all know, as big and mighty as these oak trees are, they're incredibly sensitive, so it's very easy to destroy one with it by doing very little to it, and that always boggles my mind, but it's a recommendation I would personally make if I were talking to them, so. Anyone else? Comment?
I really don't have a problem with it either. They did provide a option that would comply with our ordinances, but I don't see a need to force them to that with their current original, what they would like to do. My only comment, as we talked earlier, is because they're not doing the third option, which would comply, it is self-created, and I don't have a problem approving it, even though it's self-created.
Got it.
In view of the setback from the street and based on what the neighbor said, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. Any other comment from anyone on the board?
Yeah, I agree, being also familiar with the property and the distance from the street that the entire structure is going to be, the impact is going to be negligible.
Okay. On that basis, do I have a motion regarding item number 1?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
And can I remind you guys to speak into the mic so folks
Yes,
at home
please.
could hear you
Actually,
guys?
can pull that one over to you as well. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I move to approve the variance request for 667 Chin Chapel Road because the evidence in the record shows special conditions affecting the property. Little enforcement would create unnecessary hardship or practical difficulty. The hardship is self-created. The relief will not injure adjacent conforming property, and granting the variance is in harmony with the spirit and purpose of the ordinance.
I'll second.
So motion made by Board Member Mopps, seconded by Board Member Smock. We will call the roll on the vote one by one. And just as a reminder, in order to grant this variance, we will be required to have a 4 out of 5 approval. Board Member Olson.
Approve.
Board Member Granberry.
Approve.
Board Member Motts. Board Member Smock.
Approve.
And I approve as well. Therefore, with a vote of 5-0 in favor, the variance for 61 Chin Chapel Road is approved. Okay. One second to shuffle through here and get the next section here. All right, we'll now open the hearing on item 2. The time is 7:23 p.m. Town of Copper Canyons Board of Adjustment now conducts a public hearing to take action for the following item. The request of John Coffey, owner of real property at 3104 Sherlock Lane, described as Vickery Phase 3, Block J, Lot 22, Town of Copper Canyon, Denton County, Texas, for a variance from the Town of Copper Canyon zoning ordinance number 19-006, Plan Development District number 1, Development Standard E, lot and setback standards for minimum 62-foot wide single-family lots. Number 3, minimum rear yard. The ordinance requires a minimum rear setback of 10 feet. The property owner is requesting a 5-foot rear yard setback. Would the applicant or representative please come forward, state your name, address for the record, and recite the truth oath.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm John Coffey. I am the owner of 1304 Sherlock Lane. I'm sorry, 3104. Oh my gosh.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. 3104 Sherlock Lane, Copper Canyon, Texas. And I, John Coffey, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you. So please explain exactly what you're requesting and why you believe the board can lawfully grant this variance for you.
Yes, thank you. So I am respectfully requesting a variance from the town of Copper Canyon to permit a 5-foot rear setback for the construction of a residential swimming pool. Currently, a 10-foot setback is required. I do not believe that this request is contrary to the public interest and is necessitated by special conditions unique to the property. The property is an irregularly shaped corner lot with curvature along the property lines, and I'm assuming that the variance is different than other lots within the Vickery community because my neighbors who have had swimming pools installed have had done so with the 5-foot variance. So recently, when I applied for my permit, I was informed that it was a 10-foot variance and it was rejected. So this is my attempt to get the 5-foot variance for the swimming pool. Let's see. I do not believe that this hardship is self-created. In this case, it is not self-imposed, but arises from the existing physical characteristics of the property, which were not created by myself. It is in that spirit, if I will turn your attention to Exhibit B, you will see that it is a very, very small lot. And the
Sorry, so which exhibit?
Exhibit B as in boy.
That's the plat for the neighborhood, is that correct? For the,
I believe it's, should be with.
oh, gotcha, thank you.
Sorry. You can see that the total length from the back of the property line to the house is only 26 feet. So a rear setback of 10 feet gives 16 feet that is a challenge in putting together an enjoyable experience for my backyard. I think everyone knows that the heat of Texas in the summertime, you want to be able to enjoy your property, and a 10-foot setback severely limits my ability and my family's ability to do so. In fact, you can see where the 10-foot setback comes into play and essentially cuts the pool in half and only gives me about 16 feet from the house of workable real estate. So it is in that spirit that I am requesting from the board a variance to move from 10 feet to 5 feet.
Okay. Thank you. So at this point, we'll move to a bit of Q&A for you, if you don't mind. Before I ask you a question, Troy, do you know, was there a change in the P&Z for Vickery for the rear yard setback?
None that I know of, and we may want to go into executive session to discuss that a little bit more.
Okay.
Would recommend that.
Okay, thank you. That's an important point. Just a question on looking at the plat that's for the neighborhood, for Vickery neighborhood. There's an asterisk mark, which I assume is your lot is to the left of the asterisk that's on that, what you submitted, is that correct? The yellow back printed.
I don't recall submitting that, but I do not recall submitting that, sir.
This page here? Okay, so if you don't mind, can you point out which? This is part of the ordinance? Oh, okay, I saw the asterisk on here, I thought that was submitted, okay. Oh, it's here. Where'd that come from? Okay. Look at you. Thank you. Sure. Absolutely. So now,
I'm happy to indicate.
yes, please, if you don't mind.
This is the corner lot right here. This is Sherlock, and this is 3104.
Are you going to just put an X on? Cool, thank you.
Sorry to get you on the line here, if you don't mind. Just want to make sure we're talking about the right one here.
I believe that this is it. That's Sherlock right there.
Okay, gotcha, thank you.
I've got it ready.
You got it? Yep.
No, good. Okay, thank you.
Of course, thank you.
So the rear property line of your property, obviously you got a fence between you and your adjacent neighbor to your rear. What's the height of that fence?
I believe it's 8 feet.
And is that at the same level as your yard? Is there a retaining wall? Is there any, is there a grade there?
Yeah, it's sitting up on about a 2-foot retaining wall.
A 2-foot
Stone.
retaining wall, okay. And, okay, so there's a retaining, so there'd be a, you're looking, is the retaining wall exactly on the fence line? Is the retaining wall inside your property? How does that look like?
Well, if we assume that the fence itself is on the property line, then the retaining wall would be on my property and would
Okay.
be incorporated into the design of the backyard.
Got you. So would the actual distance of the deck edge to the retaining wall be closer to 4 feet?
No, it's the fence is in on the retaining wall, and you have maybe less than a foot that is jutting out from the fence
Okay.
that is sitting on it,
And about how high is that retaining wall?
about 2 feet.
About 2 feet? Okay. Thank you.
How long have you lived at the property?
Probably just a little over 2 years.
Okay. Have you talked to a builder in the past about putting a pool in?
Not a builder, no, but we did entertain 3 bids from different pool builders and decided to go with BMR. They've done several pools within the community, and they had in the past submitted plans that went through the approval process with the 5-foot setback. But according to them, I don't know, but according to them, I'm the first resident to have submitted a plan that was rejected because of this 10-foot setback.
Understood.
Okay.
You have an HOA in your community?
I do.
And what is the HOA covenants regarding setbacks? Is there any at all?
As far as I know, no. They rely on the permitting of the town of Copper Canyon.
So they're not more restrictive than the town of Copper Canyon, is what you're saying?
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
What's the square footage of your lot? You show it on Exhibit A, your neighbor's square footage, but not yours.
Is that the FFE 661.6, or am I'm not.
Well, if your neighbor's 7440,
Oh.
you're a lot smaller than him.
Yeah, that would be smaller. I apologize, I do not have that information, but I would assume it's similar.
Well, based on the map on this exhibit, your lot looks to be quite a bit larger than your neighbor's lot.
Only because of that side yard, but I'm happy to get that information for you.
Okay. You reference part of the consideration being easements on the property for utility easement, other than that. Where are those easements that you're referencing? I didn't see those drawn anywhere.
I think,
I think there was something I saw that was drawn, but I can't quite.
yeah, I think on Exhibit A to the very left-hand side, you see there's I think it's a 7.5-foot utility easement. Is that?
So would that be on that would be on the east side of the property?
It appears to be on the west side of the property.
Okay. It's not along the back fence yard though, right?
Yeah, side yard.
So side yard, okay.
Yes.
With regard to the retaining wall and the HOA, do you know if you are responsible for that retaining wall or if your neighbor behind you is responsible for that retaining wall?
I believe since the retaining wall is on my property, that would make me responsible for it.
Okay.
Did you ask, when you did the pool design with the different companies, to give you a design that complies with code?
Well, once I found out that the permit has been rejected, we kind of wanted to go to the variance to see if the original design could be approved. But I actually have a representation of the pool within the 10-foot variance, if you would like to see that.
Yes.
Can we keep this copy for the record?
Yes.
If you're submitting it, thank you.
So this would be, stay within code, you have a 10-foot setback?
Yes.
And this was also done by your preferred contractor, BMR, or somebody else?
This was done by BMR.
So
The preferred contractor.
Is your preferred contractor?
Sorry, just out of curiosity, so is the size of the pool the same and just pushed closer to the house? Or, was the pool shrunk? You know?
The pool was narrowed, so this would be the
Or- okay.
5-foot setback, and this is now the 10-foot setback, so this is 16 feet wide.
But the distance to the house is the same
Correct.
in both? Okay.
That's correct.
What's the dimensions on that pool again?
So, this is 16 feet by, I believe,
The original.
The width wouldn't change,
Original
right?
width
Right.
is,
Oh, this rendering,
30
only
feet.
14, so it's 16 by 30.
this rendering was the hot tub at the end instead of being in the front.
that's correct.
So the hot tub was moved to the side,
It's moved to the side of the,
which allowed you to push it back.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
we'll keep this for Sheila.
But that's just a,
Sure.
he wanted to
That's
show me the impact.
Any other questions from the board?
The only other thing I would like to respectfully submit is that I did go around to all of my neighbors, and they, in your package, 7 of them, every door I knocked on supported this variance. So I respectfully ask you to consider that as well.
Do you have the letter specifically from your rear-facing neighbor?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. I did see that those were submitted in part of the packet as well. Thank you. Anything else to add?
I beg your pardon?
Anything else to add?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on item number 2? Regarding this request for variance? Okay.
You can give me the square footage before we,
Oh, sorry. Did you have another question? Back at the podium, please. At the podium, please. Okay. Work on the square footage. All right, so seeing no further testimony, I'll now close this public hearing on item number 2. The time is 7:37 p.m. And we'll now move into item number 4 on the agenda. This is executive session. If need arises, to seek the advice from the town attorney as to the posted subject matter of this board adjustment. The issues of the matter will be discussed in executive session pursuant to section 551.071 of Texas Government Code. The board may meet in executive session to consult with the city attorney regarding matters authorized by section 551.071, including matters posted in this agenda. So we were going to step into the back for an executive session and have that discussion, and we'll be back as soon as we can. Thank you. Bring everything with you, Brenda, please. Okay, thank you for patience. We've concluded the executive session and are back in session at 7:52 PM. Having deliberated over the request, at this point, I'll entertain a motion on item number 2 on the agenda.
I move to deny the variance request for 3104 Sherlock Lane because the applicant did not meet the burden of proving the required variance criteria.
Motion to deny by Board Member Smock. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Board Member Olson. We'll now call the roll. A vote to approve is a vote to deny the variance request. In this case of having a motion to deny the request. Board Member Olson, how do you vote?
Vote to deny.
Board Member Granberry,
Approve the motion.
approve the motion. Board Member Motts.
I approve the motion.
Board Member Smock.
I approve the motion.
I also approve the motion. With a vote of 4 in favor and 1 opposed, the motion passes and the request for variance is denied. This concludes the agenda for the Board of Adjustment meeting this evening. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The meeting is adjourned at 7:54 PM.